Hello friends, I'm sitting here in southeast Victoria, and I just had Christmas down here, coming up to New Year's 2017 into 2018, and I was actually just really overcome with emotion, actually sitting here watching the sunset, which is right behind me. I'll just show you that quickly. It's absolutely beautiful. Waves, I just had a surf out here, incredible. And just sitting here thinking about, had a bit of a breakthrough and a realisation in the surf about being in present time. It made me think about the three things that I really most learnt. I actually didn't start trying to think about three things. I thought about three things that added up to three in this year in 2017. And it's been a challenging year for me. After some years of feeling really kind of on my game and clear and present and not really getting hooked in much, I really found myself in 2017 taking on some bigger challenges, some bigger organisational challenges, starting from scratch with a few organisations and having to shift gear quite a few times to really make things happen. And one thing I did, not as much as I would have thought, I didn't trust as much as I would have thought I would have the metaphysical. I didn't trust find the magic inside of yourself and let it come out into the world. I probably tried to force and push things more than I normally would, and I have for years. So I got in a bit of trying to make things happen, trying to force things to happen. So that's the first thing I learnt, was that everything that is happening to you and everything that you want to happen are both inside of you. So in other words, the challenges that I met and the people that I met, the challenging people that I met, or the challenging things that surfaced out of people that I already knew, that stuff was coming from me as well, because I was forcing and pushing and I was trying to make things happen and not allowing things to happen from a place of love and connection and greater good. And although that was the higher picture and that's what I was really trying to do, I was actually really forcing. So I was trying to come from that place, but I was actually coming from making other people wrong and being right, being right myself. So which created quite a few days and hours and moments of feeling disconnected, like I was wrestling with something, struggling with something. So really what I learnt this year is even that stuff is still, it didn't exist. Yes, it existed out there in those people, but it really was coming from, I was making that possible from the way that I was pushing and forcing. I wasn't being there for them. I was trying to achieve something. I almost got caught back in winning again. Not almost, I did. Trying to win again, as opposed to trying to understand and be there for people. So that was really, really interesting. The second part of there's nothing outside of yourself, everything's already inside of you, was while I was creating that drama and that resistance, I was missing the opportunity to connect with the magic and the love that I really want to share, and the joy and the bigger picture around relationships and about organisations and communities and what we can achieve when we have love. That's also inside of me. It's inside of all of us. But instead of seeing it inside of me and seeing it inside of everybody else, it was kind of like, I suppose somewhere unconsciously I felt like I had it and they didn't. So I was trying to get other people to have it. And it doesn't work. So that was number one. Number one was there's nothing outside of yourself. Number two for me was, it's very much connected, that the answers are all in the moment. So the more I got out of trying to fix something to get to somewhere better, the more I actually created more problems for myself. I actually created more things to sort out and created more resistance and more struggle inside of myself. And then it went on longer and longer and longer. I was literally creating my own problems while trying to solve them. So that was number 2, is that when you're trying to get somewhere else, and here's not good enough, that's your first sign to stop, because you're not going to get anywhere better from that mindset. I teach that. I've known that for quite a few years, and I'm just watching this beautiful wave peel off in the background here as I'm saying this. It's like the wave reflected what I was saying, that there's perfection out there when you don't try and push and force, and it's right inside, it's in the moment. So that was big to realize that. Number 3 was that at a group level, at a planetary level, we're going through quite a shift, and I really felt it at a whole other level. There is a group mind, there is a group think. It sits in the upper levels of the 3rd and the 4th dimension, without getting caught into trying to prove what I'm saying. It sits in those upper levels of mind, and it's resistance, it's right and wrong, good and bad, heaven and hell, success and failure, rich and poor, win and lose, cool and uncool, smart and dumb. It's all this stuff, black and white, male and female. And so it sits in that space, and we can tap into it and get stuck in it and fight with it and struggle with it if we get out of the moment. Get out of the moment. We're in that. You're literally in this struggle. It's like you inherit it from the moment. So the way I picture it and the way I see it, my third eye's been opening, my mind's eye's been opening a bit more, that I can almost see the pictures of it. It's like our planet is sitting, rocketing through space. It's not sitting stationary, as we know. It's rocketing through space. And the sun's not going around us, by the way. We're going around the sun. We're going around this central thing that gives us life. And encased around us is this upset and angst, and there's years and years of, there's millennia of it. It's just sitting there, and it's in the ether, it's in the gaps. If present moment and love and joy is sitting in the gaps between thoughts, then negativity and struggle and distress is sitting in the gaps between the present moment, when you get out of the present moment. So it really, really hit home to me this year that there is as much struggle in the world as you want to tap into. I've been watching a lot of the US politics and a lot of planetary politics, and I've been seeing that the left gets played off against the right gets played off against the left. And I can see the beauty in the left. I can see the beauty in letting go and we are one. I can see the beauty in the right, and that is where an individual stands and breaks through and achieves or accomplishes or what's the word I'm looking for? Self-fulfills, and that's where capitalism comes out. It's where you do stand for something. There's a lot of truth on that side. It's very black and white. The other side, while very loving, can be very grey and leaves room for all sorts of different misconceptions. But what's happening is, because that battle between left and right is actually sitting in this higher 3rd, lower 4th dimension, our souls, we reside in the 5th dimension. We reside in love. We reside in joy. That's our pure home. That's our true home. That's our pure self. So when you get out of thinking, and when you get out of struggle, when you get out trying to get somewhere, you literally just leave that space and you come out of that struggle. So it really, really hit home for me this year that there's truth on both sides of any argument. And the problem is not the truth, who's right or who's wrong. The problem is that we're down in a place where actually it is an argument. We're not seeing each other. And it needs to stop if you want to evolve, if you want to go anywhere. If we don't, we continue to be in a war on this planet. There's wars all over the place, and we talk about them all out there, but we're living in a war. Wars with ourselves, wars with our own weight, wars with our own habits, wars with our own bank balances, wars with our neighbours, our families, our relationship partners, our bosses, the companies next door, the countries over the road, the different cultures. There's wars everywhere. So we're living in one big giant war, but the war is with the truth, and the truth is that all of the magic is already inside of you. And if you don't recognize your dysfunction as an illusion, you'll continue to find as much dysfunction as you possibly need to eventually find out that it's not you and it's not who you really are. So it's about a year exactly since I left a video on my website, and it's a year that I've been through this struggle and this challenge. And those are the three things I've learned in this year. What I'm left with feeling is enormous amount of love, enormous amount of humility, enormous amount of gratefulness, actually enormous amount of emotion. I'm almost having a double rainbow moment, because I just feel as though we are the most blessed, gifted, incredible species, and we're allowing almost another entity that lives in the higher third, lower fourth dimension to control us. Really quickly, third dimension's physical, where the mind connects upwards from the physical is higher third, lower fourth. Fourth dimension is the mental projections and the co-creative capacity. And then the higher levels of that, we tap into oneness and who we really are. There's a lot of arguments from people who think that they're fighting for oneness, but they're actually fighting from separateness. So I'm sending them as much love as I can to hopefully wake up. So that's my gift that I wanted to share, and hope you got something out of it. I want to show you the sunset as the sun dips down in this beautiful place in southeastern Victoria in Australia, as I have these realisations. Everything we need is inside of us, and what's not inside of you, so to speak, you're a part of anyway, and it's outside of you. And if you connect with that that's inside of you, you'll feel the rest of it, and you don't have to chase it, force it, push it. It's already part of you. You just have to allow it to come in. Just have to see what you're doing that's not it, and what you are will rise to the surface just in the seeing and the knowing. Lots of love. Happy New Year for 2018, and may we all break through some amazing things and share them together.